Und ich habe im Nachhinein erfahren, dass ich nach relativ unklarer Diagnose und 4 Wochen Krankenhausaufenthalt bereits mitten im Abitur.
Later, it turned out that I had a ruptured appendix. I was about to graduate from high school and was in the hospital for 4 weeks. It happened one day in early summer. I was getting very weak and was more and more certain that I was going to die. Then the hospital's evening routine took place, which I somehow took part in, and after that, it got dark outside. I wanted to call the people who were most important to me, to tell them that I needed them now, and that I loved them. I would have loved to have them all on the phone at the same time, and I would have begged them, come and hug me, and please, be there for me now. I need your support now, and I'm sorry I could only live for such a short time. The phone was on my bedside table, but I was already too weak. I just couldn't use it. Nor could I ring for the nurse. I just couldn't communicate to anyone anymore. I was completely helpless. On top of that, there was this insane pain in my stomach. I constantly wondered how I could even bear such pain, and how my skin didn't burst from the pain. It was excruciating. Then, fortunately, such a state came over me, like calmness, like being at peace. The pain was still noticeable, but much less than before. It was then clear to me what was happening to me, that I was going into this nowhere and everywhere, into death, into dying. Then something very extraordinary happened. The pain decreased more and more, and I left my body. I passed through a gray ceiling at the top and was pulled upward more and more. This was strange to me at first, and I was somewhat disoriented. I saw the patient bed from above with the typical triangle handle. And down there I saw someone who looked dead. And I realized it was my own body. It was a real morgue. I could hardly believe that it was me in the bed and in that room. Suddenly it was very beautiful and also supportive for me, because figures surrounded me. I recognized 2 of them. One was a former good friend of mine who died at the age of 16. And the other person who greeted me joyfully and very warmly was my paternal grandmother. From the beginning, there was a very soft, beautiful, strong, but also mild light behind these figures. And this light became more and more important to me. The closer I came to this light, the more the attention centered around myself. I then experienced a review of my life so far. I very quickly relived situations that I experienced with other people, especially those in which I was mean. Likewise, I re-experienced situations in which other people were mean to me, against whom I still held grudges. But I could deeply understand these people in this state, so I could completely reevaluate these situations. I saw all these events in a completely different light, and finally myself as well. I came closer and closer to this light, and was very strongly attracted to it. I wanted nothing more than to go there. Everything that was in me wanted to go to that light, and when I finally got there, I wanted to stay. It was a state of bliss. It was the only state in my life that I can really call bliss, in the truest sense of the word, real bliss. That was bliss. That was knowledge. That was loving yourself. That was being able to look away from yourself and love others. That was being held, being carried, never having to have a single question again, that everything is good and much more. That was a kind of massive happiness I have never experienced the same way since. I just wanted to stay there. And it was clear to me that I was going to stay there. But suddenly I was overwhelmed with the sense that I had to go back. But I didn't want that under any circumstances. I wanted to stay there with all my might. But I had to go back. This power that sent me back was not me, but the power that was also this light. I really had to go back. There was simply no other way. And I came back. And I remember the moment when I realized that I was back in my body. It was the most horrible moment of my life. I really experienced a lot of bad things in the meantime, but that was the most horrific thing I ever experienced. I remember carefully moving my feet, and the horror came over me when I felt the bedspread, when I realized, now I'm back. Now I'm back in this bed. At that moment, the pain was also back, as strong as it was before. This light has haunted me ever since. In the first weeks, months, and years, all I wanted was to return to the light. I was incredibly homesick, with an enormous longing for the light. Then I realized that I could also search for this light here in this earthly world. Since then, I have been a real seeker. I look for this light in my encounters with people. I look for it in the morning light when the night slowly disappears. I look for it in the evening light. I look for it in the light of a thunderstorm. I look for it in deep encounters with other people. I look for it in sexuality. But all this is only a memory, like a breath. Just as the dawn can only tell me about the sun, or the silver sheen on the sea can tell me about the moon, so also is this light here in the earthly world only a small reflection of this other light. After a few years, I began to care for chronically and terminally ill people, and suddenly realized that I can do something that I was not aware of before, and that I can experience things like what I experienced in this light, especially this unquestioning nature, this simple being. There arose in the encounters very deep emotional states, such as security and happiness, like what I felt at that time in this light. Today, this light is like a treasure box for me. I place it like it's in a precious treasure chest, and if I want, I can open this treasure chest at any time. This helps, especially in difficult times, to remember this light. Then I realize I have experienced death. It exists and can come very quickly and unexpectedly, but there is also this happiness, and it has the last word.
Aber dieses Glück, diese Glücksqualität, die gibt's auch.